Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. Now, for those of you who stayed up to watch this, it's my hope and it's my prayer that the last few minutes of 2021 will be truly meaningful to you. And at the start of 2022 will be very special. For those of you who are watching this at a later stage, you are already in 2022. And it's my prayer that this message will help you to reflect on the year that's passed and prepare you for the year ahead. What a year we've had. To me, it's always so important to take some time to think back on what happened during the last year that is almost gone, so that we can learn from it and take some of that learning into the new year. However, even more important to me than that is to make sure that we go into the new year with the knowledge that we are not alone, but that God is with us and will continue to be with us no matter what lies ahead. In order to remember this, I thought I'd use a well-known saying and give it some new meaning. Here it is. It's not what you know that matters. It's who you know. I'm pretty sure most of you have used this saying at some point in your lives, maybe even during the last year. And even if you haven't, you've probably seen the truth of it. Maybe you've come across some people in amazing jobs and you wonder how on earth they ever landed that job, until you realize that they have very close links with someone high up in the organization. Or maybe you've tried to get something done at a big company or a government agency, and no matter how hard you've tried to go through the right channels, it just didn't seem to work. And then you remembered that you actually know someone in that organization, and so you asked them if they could help. And lo and behold, the doors just open as if it was the Red Sea before Moses. So fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, this is quite an accurate saying. The opportunities you get is often more dependent on who you know rather than what you know. Sometimes the right connection counts more than the right qualification. Friends, when it comes to reflecting on the year that is almost gone, remembering all we've lost and all we've gained and trying to make sense of everything, and when we're standing on the brink of a new year with all its uncertainties, I think this statement can make all the difference. Because it really isn't what you know that matters, but who you know. If that someone is the God of the universe who promised to be with you, no matter what you may be facing in 2022. Before we look at who we know though, let's consider for a moment what we know. Unfortunately, I think the answer to that is fearfully little. If there's one thing we've learned during the last 2 years, it is that life is pretty unpredictable and uncertain at the best of times. We really don't know what is going to happen next. We can have the best scientific methods, the best resources in the world, the cleverest people working on it, and things still don't always work out the way we hoped it would. Anyone can get ill at any time. Any business, no matter how strong, could face bankruptcy quicker than they thought possible. Any marriage can come to the brink of destruction in a short space of time. And any well-made plan could be changed or cancelled just like that. And so, a lot of the certainty based on what people thought they knew has been replaced by a sense of uncertainty and the realization that we really don't know that much, or that what we know is not helping as much as we would have hoped it would. And so, going into a new year, I would like to encourage you not to place your hope in any resolution you've made for yourself or any plan you've come up with to reach your goals for the new year. Instead, may I encourage you to put your hope and your trust in the one who is still holding the whole world, including you, in his hands. Friends, it is not what you know that matters, but who you know. So what we know is not necessarily going to give us the strength and the courage and the hope we need to go into 2022. But I do think we need to stop for just a moment and ask ourselves what we really know about the year that is almost gone and our experience of it. Because that is what will show us exactly how important it is to make sure we focus on who we know instead. Friends, this is an opportunity for you to take a few moments and think back to your experiences this year. And I'd like to put them in the 3 distinct categories, according to the old Clint Eastwood movie: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as I speak about each one, just think back to what life was like for you during the last 12 months. In the first place, there definitely was the good. Not everything was bad in 2021. Some of you listening to this message got some great opportunities. Maybe you got an amazing job offer you didn't think would be possible. Or you got into a university or school you didn't think you'd get into. Maybe your work or your business is doing so much better than you thought possible. Maybe you even got a raise or an incredible bonus. And you're thinking, that was good. Some of you probably developed some new skills during the last year. It could be that you are a more accomplished woodworker, mechanic, or DIYer than a year before. Or you are so much better at sewing or arts and crafts than you were in last January. It could be that you've learned a new language or mastered a musical instrument. Maybe you are just better with people than you were before 2021. Some of you started school. Some finished school. Some started uni. Some finished uni. Some started a new relationship. Some got married. Some got pregnant. Some had babies this year. Some made new friends. Some rekindled old friendships. Some of you even received awards for what you have done. The point is that if you start looking for what was good during 2021, I'm sure you will find many things to be grateful for. And that is what we're supposed to do. Think about what was good and be grateful for it. Because here's what we know about what we know was good. James 1 verse 17. Every good and perfect gift is from above. You see, even though 2021 may not have been the year you hoped it would be, there were still some good things. And we should thank God for those things and give Him the honor for it. Because without Him, we would have nothing and be nothing. Unfortunately, though, there was also the bad. We all know this, but not everything was great in 2021. For one, the global pandemic is still with us. We still had some lockdowns and had to learn to adapt to so many restrictions on the way we would normally live our lives. Many people had great plans, and it all had to be changed. Some people were looking forward to seeing some family or go on long-awaited holidays, only for it to be changed at the last minute. Even Christmas plans were changed so many times that people struggled to keep up with what was going to happen. And all the disappointment so many of us experienced could be summed up by saying, that was pretty bad. And that is the way many people will describe their finances at the end of this year. Maybe you lost your job during all the economic uncertainty of the last year. Maybe you had to take a pay cut, or your business isn't doing as well as you hoped, or maybe it's just the cost of the constantly rising energy bills that is taking its toll on you. For others of you, it may be your health that is bad. Maybe you got a diagnosis this year that you didn't want. Maybe it is something you probably have to live with for the rest of your life. Some of you will use the word bad to describe your marriage or long-term relationship, as it's going south at a rapid rate, and you're not sure you are going to stop it from getting worse. All you know is that it started with what you thought was a small misunderstanding that turned into an argument and then got linked to a whole host of other old, what you thought were forgotten arguments, and now you have this massive broken puzzle and you don't know where to start to put it back together again. Others of you felt like that with friendships. You thought it was going well, and before you knew it, it just wasn't. And it feels bad. Or maybe it is that you made some wrong choices and you feel bad about that. Friends, the point is that bad things happened in 2021. Some of it happened because of the choices you made. Some of it happened because of the choices other people made. And some of it happened because this is just life. And bad things happen. Things don't always work out the way we wanted to or hoped for. But here's what you need to know about what we know was bad this year. God is still in control, and no matter how bad it gets, He will not leave you. Psalm 23 verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. God was with you when it was good during 2021. And He was with you when it was bad during 2021. And He will still be with you in both the good and the bad during 2022. And what you can bank on in the year that lies ahead is that Jesus still specializes in seeking and saving those who are lost. Luke 19 verse 10. For the Son of Man, that is Jesus, came to seek and to save the lost. So whatever was bad this last year, whatever you struggled with, give it to God and trust Him with it. Then there was the ugly. Unfortunately, many people had more than a fair share of ugly this year. And for many, it was extremely painful. Some of you lost loved ones this year, and it hurts. Especially at the end of the year and over the Christmas period, it is so difficult to come to terms with the fact that someone who meant so much to you will not go into the new year with you. And you know that life will never be the same again. You will never be able to celebrate birthdays or anniversaries or anything else with them again. They will not see how you finally realize your dreams or be there for you through the highs and the lows in your life. And it hurts more than you could have ever imagined. Whether the reason you lost them was because of death or because of the end of a relationship, it is still loss you're dealing with, and it is painful. So, what do we do with what we know was ugly? We bring that hurt and that pain to Jesus, and we ask Him to heal us. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. God loves you. And that is why you can trust Him not only with your worries and your cares and your anxieties, but also with your whole life and the whole of 2022 that lies ahead. You see, it's not what you know that matters, but who you know. And so, may I invite you to put your trust in God here at the beginning of the new year and get to know Him better during this year. Because that is what will make all the difference to your experience of what lies ahead in 2022. You see, God is already in 2022, and He has promised to never leave us or forsake us. That means that it doesn't matter what you've been through the last year. It doesn't matter whether you will face the good, the bad, or the ugly during the next year. What matters is that you are not going to face it alone if you put your trust in Him. And when you do, you can know that not even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death will you do so alone. Not even if you are face to face with evil will you have to fear it, because you are not alone. And no matter whether you face life or death, angels or demons, the present or the future, powers beyond your control, height, depth, COVID, divorce, bankruptcy, cancer, betrayal, depression, or anything else you can think of, none of those things will be able to separate you from God's love. And when you are in Him, not one of those things will be able to change your identity, for you are still more than a conqueror, simply because you belong to Him and He loves you. It is not what you know that matters, but who you know. And Jesus has promised that He will be with us until the end of the age. And therefore, friends, may I encourage you to bring the good, the bad, and the ugly and give it all to God. Just let it go into His hands. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. Give everything you've been trying to carry on your own in 2021 to Him, and let Jesus take it from you in 2022. Do what the Apostle Paul did and leave it all behind and strain toward what is ahead. Press on toward the goal that God is calling you to. Throw off whatever is hindering you. Run your race with perseverance and fix your eyes on Jesus. And as the year continues, remember to keep your eyes on Him during the whole of 2022, because it is not what you know that matters, but who you know. Amen. Dear Lord, thank you so much that we have the opportunity to go into this new year with you. Thank you that you carried us through 2021 and that you promised to be with us no matter what we may be facing in 2022. Lord, we bring all the good of the last year and we thank you for everything you've done for us. We also bring the bad to you and ask for your forgiveness and also for your help with all those things we struggled with. And Lord, we also give you all the ugly of this last year. You know all the pain so many people are still carrying with them. And I now want to ask you to please take it from them and bring healing to their lives like only you can. So friends, as we go into this new year, I want to invite you to put your trust in God and ask Him to lead you into 2022. Just pray this in your heart with me. Lord, I need you. I don't know what lies ahead for me or any of my loved ones, but I do know this. I want you to please lead me through this year. Please help me to follow wherever you lead and to trust you for every step. In your name I pray this, Jesus. Amen. Friends, please receive God's blessing, and may 2022 be a very special year for all of you, in which you will discover that knowing and trusting God can make all the difference. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God our Father and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all as you go into this new year.